Someone's dropped out like a kid in school.
Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to another replay cast.
Dire's
This
bad.
time it's gonna be EHOME.Keen versus the Wings Gaming TI champions in the Dota 2 Ace Provisional. I don't know what tournament this is. It shows up in the watch tab. I guess it's a free ticket. I decided to cast some of these games, do a little scouting on the Chinese teams before the Boston Major. Wings Gaming did receive a direct invite. They are the defending TI champions, and
Dire's bad.
from what I've seen of their games so far, it looks like they haven't spent their time playing RPGs too much. They still know what they're doing, and I see that I predict that they're probably going to have some results at the Boston Major. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to take the event. There's a lot of teams out there working hard and grinding to try to take the major spot, but Wings Gaming is definitely a contender. There's no question that they're a team that you need to look out for. So let's get right into it. EHOME.Keen bans out Slaughter as well as Dazzle. Slaughter is one of the most popular offlaners right now. Usually it does not deserve a first ban, but against a team like Wings, that I feel like that hero fits them very well from their playstyle at TI. They like to kind of bait fights with those more extended engagements. They kind of weave in and out and make you think that you're about to get the one fight, and they kind of just come back and turn it around. Slaughter, a perfect hero to do that, as well as Dazzle. Wings Gaming also are known to run the Oracle. Y Dot or Innocence plays that hero extremely well. If you watch TI, even though that hero has been nerfed slight amount since TI, it's still powerful, and they might just pick it up in this game. And as I say that, they second pick Oracle as well as a first pick Sand King. Wings Gaming will ban themselves out and Axe as well as a Lifestealer. Two heroes that could potentially go together very well, but Axe also being one of the more popular off lanes in this patch, as well as Lifestealer being a safe lane carry that can really get aggressive and get you those pickoffs. And with those pickoffs, usually you can snowball into mid-ish game victory, because as Lifestealer is not really the best late game carry. In a sense, he can really get you your snowball rolling. You can go with those infest ganks and get a good game for yourself off of a lot of ganks, smokes, and good rotations. EHOME.Keen will pick themselves Rubik as well as an OD. OD being a pretty powerful mid this patch. He did receive a decent amount of nerfs, but overall he's still pretty powerful in that mid lane. I've even seen some teams try to run them as a safe lane carry, specifically EG in a game in Dota Pit, but it didn't work out so well for them. EG or RTZ actually called GG as soon as the game started, and it indeed did not pan out very well for EG. But getting past that, Rubik being a pretty funny first pick. Wings Gaming did run it a bit at TI, but I think Rubik is one of the higher tier supports this patch, especially depending on the player. Really kind of limits your opponents, and if they knew that Sand King was going to be picked up by Wings Game, it's a perfect pick. Rubik stealing Sand King spells, all of his spells are pretty useful for him, especially Burrow Strike with the instant cast. Good pickup from EHOME.Keen. In the banning stage, we'll see them ban up a Legion Commander as well as Sniper. Very odd pickups, but in my opinion, I see those two heroes as being on the rise. Legion Commander being a very strong hero, allowing you to get pickoffs. It could be ran mid, safe lane carry, as well as even off lane or jungle. So I don't specifically know that Wings Gaming had a history of running it. They probably play each other in scrims, and they kind of know that Wings really like that hero. But in my opinion, Legion Commander being a potentially very powerful hero, we might see it a lot at the major. And the same thing as Sniper. Sniper kind of underutilized right now, but I see that he has the potential to be potentially a top hero, maybe top picked, and decent win rate hero depending on the teams that decide to practice sniper strats. And he really can just outrange a lot of heroes and make it very hard for you to take engagements. Because unless you get a very good initiation on him, he can really just make your engagements hell, just sniping you from a distance with Dragonlance as well as Shrapnel. There's so many times in pubs where you kind of just deal against a sniper, you forget about him a bit, and suddenly he's just killing your entire team. And he's sneaking his way up there as potentially very powerful hero this patch. The meta is constantly shifting, and we see EHOME.Keen kind of get a read on what Wings Gaming decide to run. And they'll again band themselves out Clockwork as well as Luna. Clockwork being not so popular for offlaner, but as I said, they probably played each other in scrims and know that Clockwork is potentially a popular pickup that EHOME.Keen like to run. And Luna, as always, being a pretty strong carry this patch, able to kind of snowball a little bit off of a couple one team fights, and as soon as you get that, your game can just be over. You lose a couple fights and Luna is just ravaging your base, and I like to just take that out there, and instead EHOME.Keen will pick themselves a Juggernaut and a Nyx Assassin in the second picking phase. Juggernaut just being that kind of bread and butter carry this patch, having that healing ward allowing you to just transition fights into tower pushes very easily and very early as well. Having spin to get himself out of trouble, and of course Omni Slash, and that can give you a lot of good engagements, get you pickoffs, and I've seen Juggernaut really take over games, but at the same time he can be slightly underwhelming in the late game, and especially if he doesn't get his farm up. Just Omni Slash not really paying off, enemy heroes being able to tank it, and just his damage output really becomes lacking against certain lineups. And they also pick themselves up the Nyx as a natural counter to OD, so they kind of just pick it out themselves to make sure that Wings Gaming don't get it. And Nyx himself being a pretty strong offlaner this patch, sometimes even played in the support role, allowing you to get a lot of ganks off, and with rotations when he hits 6 with Vendetta can get you a lot of good ganks off. And Wings Gaming will pick themselves an Invoker and a Chen, heroes that really excel in pushing. Invoker more of a split pusher and a farmer, but I've seen Chinese teams even run Quas Wex, which isn't so common in this patch, but I know LGD Forever Young did run it one game and they were able to make it work for them. But for this lineup, I see Wings Gaming really going into that Quas Exort build, lining up the Sunstrikes with the Sand King stuns and taking down towers with the Chen. And Wings Gaming will last pick Sven. EHOME.Keen is worried of the Huskar pick, so they do last ban that, and Wings Gaming banned themselves Witch Doctor, pretty decent counter to Chen, allowing you to just take out his creeps in the fight. It cast does last longer on creeps, and it's pretty annoying playing a Chen against a Witch Doctor, because you kind of just throw his casket on your creeps and they just bounce back and forth, and your creeps just become useless. So they get rid of that hero. Also a pretty good hero that can sustain with the Juggernaut, with healing ward and the healing from Witch Doctor. It can be kind of hard to take team fights if you don't immediately burst heroes. And against a hero like Sand King, it's not too bad of a pickup for them. EHOME.Keen last pick Pudge, very interesting enough. A hero that actually has been gaining a rise in popularity recently. Some teams even deciding to pick it up very early in the draft, but they do last pick it. Initially, it was picked up really as a counter to Void, but let's just see how EHOME.Keen run it. I'm kind of interested myself. But as you see, Wings Gaming do last pick themselves Sven, and they have kind of a Sven Invoker NP-esque lineup, and let's see how they run it compared to NP, because I have been going over a lot of NP replays myself, and kind of know how they like to run that. And they've had decent success with it, even against EG recently in Dota Pit, but I believe they did end up losing that series. I'm not exactly sure. Pretty sure they did, but let's just get right into the game. So EHOME.Keen, smoke up, and looks like Nyx did TP to the bot lane. He hasn't placed his ward yet, and someone did TP to the mid lane and placed his ward right here. So Invoker will have a good vision of the enemy side of the map, potentially just preventing Pudge from getting some hooks off, as well as forecasting any ganks, and OD and Pudge are a pretty decent combo together, as OD is able to imprison into hook. As long as they get that timing right, it may secure some free kills, as Invoker is a relatively slow hero, so it is not entirely possible for him to get away from OD once he gets his boots up. Once he gets the movement speed advantage, as I mean, and he has to watch out for that, so they do preemptively put this ward up to watch for any type of rotations. So Dire's side does put a ward here to block up the camp right here. Chen does tend to like to farm this camp up, and he will try to deward it, but I believe it's just out of vision, and he does not have another sentry, so he's not going to have the luxury of farming this camp in the early game. Chen usually does like to take a creep right here and maybe rotate into the off lane and go for some type of gank, but he isn't able to deward it, so it looks like he'll just go here and farm up this big camp. Dire will block up this camp themselves. They really are afraid of any Chen rotation, as Rubik isn't very good at dealing with it, so they will block this out so that Chen really can't walk here and take a creep and cause problems for them in the safe lane, because they know Pudge will be roaming. He does pick up a TP scroll as well as a windlace, and right now it looks like he is just going to harass out this Fen, or this Chen, and try to limit his experience gain in the jungle. Sven will go on the Nyx on the bot lane, and he does not have Carapace, but he does hit a pretty good dual stun on both Oracle and Sven, and it looks like he'll just be fine. And with Poor Man's Shield, he should be able to tank up quite well in this lane and tango up, and it looks like he's going to be able to get pretty much all the experience. Sven does deny that range creep, which does hurt him a bit, but it doesn't look like this Oracle is going to be completely able to zone him from this lane. They are doing battle right now, and Nyx has very good base regen, and with Tangos and Poor Man's, as well as Oracle's recent nerf, I believe, in damage, he should do just fine in this lane. Sand King as well is doing quite fine in this lane. Chen does rotate up to help him. He does bring a Wild Wind Ripper creep, not the best creep to help out in a lane like this. He does provide a decent amount of harass with the Tornado, but it looks like Pudge does rotate up to the top lane, as well as Rubik, canceling that Tornado with his lift. And right now Chen looks like he's in a bit of trouble, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to go down here. But Pudge actually looks like he's in trouble, and he does fall down. He does kind of get a little too aggressive there and gets stunned by the Sand King, and Chen and SK will just right click him down with the Caustic Finale. There is a GD rune top, so if Chen does pick this up, he can be quite annoying in the top lane. Or he might decide to rotate towards mid. Let's see where he goes. These Chen rotations in the early game can make a big difference this game, as both teams kind of rely on having a good setup in the early game so that they can transition into a very good mid game. Whatever team does get the initial lead in this game should be able to hold it pretty well, as they have pretty strong heroes that are able to farm very well and also make it very difficult for enemies to fight into. With heroes like Invoker and Sven, once you get a decent lead up, it can be very difficult. I do miss a kill in the top lane, as it looks like Juggernaut as well as Rubik and Pudge just go on this SK and manage to finish him off right here. He does get himself caught out a bit too far forward. And Chen is heading into the enemy's jungle, and he's like to play this aggressive playstyle. That's how Ice played at TI. There was one game where he did find very good rotations off, and he managed to get kills in every single lane, and they managed to completely crush the game. I believe it was a game against EG, I believe. It might be DC, I'm not sure, but I know he did play that very good Chen game at TI, and it looks like he'll just continue to do that in this Dota 2 Ace Cup, or whatever it's called. So SK will go on Rubik, and there's 2 centaurs here, so Rubik is in big trouble. He will go down to the caustic finale. It actually is a Chen right click that takes him down. He will go for the 1-0-2 build. It's pretty common if you want to play aggressive like this. The penitence does help you a lot in hitting your stuns on your centaurs, or just getting that extra catch on the enemy team, as well as boosting up the damage. So I do have last hits. I didn't have last hits up this entire time, so my bad. It looks like OD is out last hitting Invoker by quite a bit, but that is to be expected. Blink is not known to be one of the most highly skilled in terms of mechanics in the mid lane. That's not what Wings is known for. They're more known for their team fight and their teamwork together, just making good rotations and making them pay off. So it looks like Oracle will get a kill on Pudge in the bot lane. It looks like Pudge tried to play aggressive, and he will send a ... I actually want to go back and see what happened, because that's pretty funny. So it looks like Pudge is just trying to steal their camp, rotting it down, and let's see if he'll actually get it. No, Oracle actually gets all the last hits. He did not get any of that, and he kills Pudge as well, so he hits him with the ... So this league, I know, is more of an informal league. They're not taking it too seriously. They're probably just still testing things out, hence the Pudge pick. And that was a pretty questionable play there, but you know, he was just trying to, I'm assuming he was trying to just take it and then kill himself, but instead Oracle just manages to kill him as well as the stack, so it doesn't work out too well for him there, but Oracle will have to walk back to base. Funny play there, quite interesting. So I see that type of play all the time with Pudge in my pubs, so not too surprised by that, but sometimes you gotta go for the YOLO plays, and they don't always work out. Chen will go for another gank top, but his creeps are far behind. They're a lot slower than him, so he didn't really get in position to lead with them, but they'll still be able to get the kill with the SK stun as well as the penitence, and it looks like now Pudge will be in trouble as well, as they're able to just dive this tower with the creeps cranking. The creeps tanking. It kind of fumbled my words there, but he has a Satyr Tormentor and a Hellbear Smasher now. He had two Centaurs before, so he has gone through a big rotation of creeps. He will send Sand King back to base so that he can heal up and he can tee back the lane. And right now, if you look at the net worth, Wings are quite far ahead, even though Invoker is losing mid quite hard to this OD, and it's been a 1v1 for the most part. Pudge has not made many rotations into the mid lane yet. Looks like Nick's Assassin will find him out. He'll be able to get a lot of levels, bot hit 6 and head for the mid lane. And right now Blink looks like he is in trouble, but he actually does not have enough mana stun unless he magic sticked, and OD was really nowhere near, so he wasn't able to kill him alone, so he decides to just tap in the back with a Vendetta, and he's walking back to lane while it's on cooldown. Pudge will get some levels in the bot lane while his Nyx Assassin left, but right now Nyx will go back to the bot lane and try to sap up more experience. Meanwhile, Oracle is just pulling, and he managed to get a decent amount of experience for himself while Sven is just pushing out the lane. He will go for the Helm Dominator build, and I'm not sure where his creep is, but don't be surprised for him to start stacking agents very soon. And that's one thing that Wings kind of does differently from NP. Wings kind of, or NP kind of gets these stacks up a lot more often, but Wings decide to play for a more little aggressive playstyle. They'll go for a lot of ganks onto the enemy safe lane. This Chen has been a menace truly in this lane. He's gone through a bunch of creeps, and they've got a ton of kills. Oracle will TP up on the top lane as well, and he'll manage to pick up a kill on Pudge. After Jug did go down to just Chen and Sand King, but Oracle will head his way up and pick up another kill, but they do lose both Sand King as well as Chen for it. And Chen just does have this catapult. They did expend a bunch of creeps this lane. He is level 5 actually. I was surprised. I expect him to be a lot lower level since he did spend a lot of time just kind of going for ganks, but I guess they did get a lot of kills. He is 4-1 and 2, so actually I shouldn't be super surprised. And it looks like this Juggernaut is going for a drum spill to his items. It looks like he will go onto Oracle, and Oracle will fall, but Rubik is looking in trouble himself as Sand King was able to stun him, and he does manage to deny himself to the Ursa camp. Good play by the Rubik. So there's just a lot of death in this top lane, as pretty much all the action in this game so far, as been centered around this lane. OD himself will run up with a haste rune, but Sand King with a casual point and Sandstorm will just be able to get out. He will stun out, but he does get imprisoned, and there's 4 heroes here waiting to kill him. And he should fall, but with this channel, he's about to survive for a little longer, and he's able to get his stun through as well as a stun strike. And there's 4 dire heroes under this Radiant Tower, and they're all falling low, and they're still not able to take out the Sand King. And he's gonna have another stun up right now. He's gonna be able to get it on Nyx Assassin. He does get imprisoned up by the OD, but he'll just get nuked down by Oracle. Oracle, what a player! Innocence TI winner right here is able to just secure 2 easy kills, as this dive on the Sand King does not go quite well. He saves the Sand King player with the W, nullifying their magic damage, and then he's able to hit stun after stun, and this is classic Wings. They're able to just bait enemies into these bad engagements, and they just pick these heroes like Oracle, and they're able to just get the save and then get kill after kill as the enemy just overextends himself, thinking that they got a free Sand King's kill. That was 4 people under the tower, and he was imprisoned, and he managed to get out and get stuns off as well as survive. Chen is lacking in creeps right now, as he does go for a lot of tower dives as well as ganks, and that takes a toll on your creeps count, as your creeps have to take a lot of damage and they will fall. He picks himself up a Satyr Tormentor and a Catapult. Pretty interesting combination of creeps here, and looks like he's gonna rotate out of the jungle. This Nyx Assassin is looking to be active with the Pudge, and he will get a nice hook on Invoker in the mid lane. Nyx Assassin will reveal himself under Vendetta, and they will get a stun on him. He should be dead. Up, he does die. Sven and Sand King rotate in, and they'll get a nice double stun on the OD as well as Rubik, and it looks like OD and Rubik will fall. Looks like Chen did also have an Ogre Ursa creep right here, was able to block up the OD a bit and deal damage. And classic Wings again, they're able to just kind of bait in their Invoker, not necessarily, but they're able to respond in time, as they knew that he was in trouble, and the Chen was already on his way up, and they were in fighting position, as well as Sand King and Sven walking their way towards that this area right here, and they're able to just get I believe it's 2 or 3 quick counter kills off their Invoker death. And they're also de-ward their Ancients, which EHOME.Keen did put a ward here to try to block it, but it does get immediately de-warded. Nyx Assassin will TP himself to the bot lane to push it out a bit. He's going to tank the creep wave, and probably, yep, he's going to leash it to the neutrals here, and then he's going to try to farm it up while the Catapult does some siege damage to their tower. Pudge will make his way up to the top lane, and he's just only level 4. He's kind of hurting in experience. It is 11 minutes. He hasn't able to get that many kills off, and he does have 5 deaths to his name, so this Pudge pick is not really paid off. They do get that nice Invoker kill in the mid lane, but they do feed their lives away for it as well. Oracle will be level 7, so on the side of Wings, they're way ahead in experience, so it looks like Sven and Sand King do go for a play on Rubik with a smoke, and they're able to take him out, and Pudge will look in trouble as well, as he does not have a TP scroll. He picks himself a Tome of Knowledge, and he's like, alright, I got knowledge, but that knowledge is not going to help him survive this one, as they just quickly take him out. They dive in with the Chen creeps under tower, and with Sven and Sand King, there's really no hope for him to get out of there alive. So now they will transition into a tower push, as Sven will pop his ult as well as pop Warcry, and they should be able to take this tower very easily. I think Chen does pick up 2 catapults here, so when I play Chen, I really like to do this stuff myself. The catapults really provide you a lot of pushing power, and when you're going to play a aggressive playstyle like this, you really just kind of want to get the creeps that you can. You really don't want to walk out of your way to find these creeps in these camps. You just kind of want to just get the creeps as you walk by them, and that's how he'll play it. It will help him do a ton of damage to this tower in the top lane, so it will immediately pay off. And with the nuke combo, the Hellbear Smasher, and the Satyr Tormentor, this Chen is no joke, and he's working his way towards mech, and he should have it very soon. I believe it is on the courier, so he has it already. So right now, Wings are in a very good position. It's just EHOME.Keen's Pudge pick hasn't really been able to pay off, and even though Invoker did fall behind mid, he's going to be able to catch up, as his team has created quite a lot of space for him to just farm in the jungle, push out lanes, and get his farm up with his Midas pickup. Sven will pick up an Echo Saber as well as Treads. He does go for the Helm Dominator first. He hasn't actually been farming his Ancients yet. I notice between NP and Wings so far, NP really favor going for the Ancients play a lot more. They kind of play a little bit more passive, but with Wings right now they've played a lot more aggressive with their Sven so far. It's been a decent amount of engagements compared to how Aoi does in Team NP, and I only make that comparison because they do have quite a similar draft with the Sven as well as Invoker pick, two heroes that NP just love to first pick in their games. It's been a strategy that they've been love running recently, and Urquizy himself even changing his name to Aoi Sven 2000. Invoker looks like he's in trouble bot as there's a Nyx behind him, as well as a Juggernaut, but Sand King does make the jump first on Jug, and Jug gets spooked as they think there's more heroes here, and they just kind of back their way. And there is more heroes here as Oracle was TPing there, and it looks like Chen trying to push down the mid tower does get himself hooked up and killed, and he will fall, but he does already have his mech, so that won't really put him behind anything. But that's a nice pickup from EHOME.Keen, as they're going to need it, as they're quite far behind in this game so far, as this Jug is just not managed to pick up that much farm, as he's been pressured quite a lot by Wings Gaming in the top lane, especially by Ice's Chen. So Invoker will manage to put out the bot lane and survive that kind of gank by Nyx Assassin, but right now EHOME.Keen is looking to make a smoke play. OD does pick a Midas. It's a pretty strong item on OD. He will reveal himself in the mid lane. I'm not sure if they're just forgoing this smoke or what, as they do smoke directly under Radiant Vision, and I'm not sure if they know that or not. But he does just cancel the smokes. That was kind of a waste of smoke right there. I didn't really catch the whole duration of it. I'm not sure what actually happened. It might have just been a mistake. Nyx Assassin will go for Midas himself, and he is almost there. So even though Wings have managed to find a pretty big lead, EHOME.Keen do have the comeback potential with their Midas pickups. Juggernaut looks like he is going into Battle Fury after his jump, so he buys the jumps knowing that he's probably going to need to fight, and he doesn't go for a heal either. He's going to go directly into that Battle Fury, and he's not going to go for any of these smaller items. They know they need to farm up, and they're going to take as much of the space as Wings gives them, as Wings right now are kind of taking it a little slow. They haven't made any aggressive plays recently in really the past 5 minutes, but right now they're looking to go for the bot, as nice blink stun from the Sand King will get this Nyx caught out, but he's going to be able to just Vendetta and run away, and even that Oracle nuke will heal himself up a bit. And right now, it looks like they're kind of shying away from this bot tower push a bit, as they don't really have full vision on EHOME.Keen's heroes. And Pudge will go for a hook, but he will hit a catapult. And right now, they're kind of doing a backstab play on Wings right now, so Wings has to be careful. Invoker will get dusted up, and there's going to be a full team fight here. Jug is not actually a part of this, but Wings is just on the retreat, as Oracle will ult up the Chen to try to save him. Nyx Assassin will manage to wait, no, that's Rubik going down. Sand King does take him out, I guess, but Sven does pop his ult and go ham and manage to take out OD Nyx, as well as Rubik buying back for that, thinking that he can get back and try to fight. So with the Sven Echo Saber as well as Blink pickup, they're able to clean up that fight, and Juggernaut not really being involved that entire time. He's still farming, so that was kind of a 4v5 fight from the side of EHOME, and they're able to take out a couple of heroes, but the Sven, being extremely farmed for 17 minutes in the game, is able to just pick up those kills himself and clean up the fight pretty much single-handedly, as that fight was looking super chaotic as everyone was trying to run away. Sven was able to just find that good initiation and pick off the valuable kills on 2 cores. Juggernaut finds himself pushing pushing top too far, and he will manage to get picked off by both Sand King as well as Chen. But bot lane as well, Sven will get picked off. They kind of overextend a little bit too far for this tower here. They tried to do some damage on it, but they end up getting caught out by probably a hook or something. I'm not sure. Let's go back and actually see. I know I'm missing a lot of kills. Not not really used to doing these casts yet, so I'm still working on it. My camera control is not the greatest. It was just, so he does get hooked there. It looks like it was an imprisoned into hook, and who's this hero? Oracle will get himself caught out as well. But keep in mind they did lose Jug on the top lane, so overall not too bad of a trade for Wings. It could be worse if this Jug was able to just take this tower freely, but this Chen as well as Sand King do rotate to stop him and manage to kill him as well. So Chen is getting close to level 11. I wouldn't be surprised when Sven comes alive, he's going to actually farm his ancient stacks. He actually hasn't done that yet. They really kind of decided to push this bot lane. He does get a couple of kills in the bot as well as the tower, but he does die for it as well once they decide to push up for this tier 2. Nyx Assassin managed to pick up his Midas and all of that quite a while ago, even before this team fight that happened down here, and he will have 1500 gold as well. It looks like Oracle does spot him out, and he might be in trouble, but no one is really near, and he really kind of can just like Carapace Oracle's Fortune's End if he wants to initiate on him with that. But he does have to watch out because there is Sunstrike available with a level 12 Invoker, almost max Exhort. So Sven does farm his ancient stacks as I said. There's a DD Rune bot, and it looks like he will be going for BKB. His stun will get Carapace, but it will get followed up by a Centaur stun. I believe he stacked it or something, or he wasn't able to get the other one off as Nyx was able to just stun and walk away. So Nyx kind of narrowly dodges that one, and what item is he going for? Looks like he's going for Ags. Pretty standard item for Nyx, especially in this game where they're looking to probably have to be able to play more on the defensive. Sand King will try to Sandstorm, but he will get dusted up. He will go for a stun on the Juggernaut and blink out, so he does not manage to get picked off there, but on the right side they're going to make another play up to this high ground, and Sven will go in for a stun, but he does not really manage to get any pickoffs, and they will just try to back away, but OD as well as Rubik will walk into this engagement here and get double stunned up by Sven, and OD narrowly dodging a death right there. Juggernaut will go in and he will fall, but on the backline, Faith BN will manage to pick off Odie. And that's a 4-man wipe on the side of Wings. That fight was looking a little odd there as Sven just kind of goes in and they kind of leave after that initial initiation, but they find the OD as well as the Rubik and reinitiate, and they manage to pick them off. The OD narrowly getting out, but with that Sven coming, or that Sand King coming in from the left, they do manage to take him out, as well as the Juggernaut, who decided to take the fight right here. And this Juggernaut pick is not really paying off. As I said, if you kind of get behind on the hero, he just becomes quite useless, as he still does not have his Battle Fury up, and his damage output is quite low in fights. With the Warcry from Sven, it really limits the amount of damage that he can do with his Omni Slash, and the Blade Fury damage just simply not being able to be that valuable for them, as there's a lot of healing on the side of Wings. So Nyx will try to go for a play on Blink and the Invoker, but with no help, it doesn't look like that play will be able to really work. But they do hit a nice hook on Blink with this help of the ward right here, and they do manage to take him out. So that's the second time Blink gets hooked this game like that, and the second time he will fall. But Sand King making an initiation onto Pudge, and he will be punished for his sins, as they're able to just pick him off, trying to walk away. They won't give him that free kill on their Invoker, and it looks like they're posturing to push into the mid lane with that.
Radiant's top tower's taking
OD
hits.
does pick himself up a Hurricane Pike as well as Perseverance, so they're getting their farm up there. We look at net worth now. Their cores are up there. Juggernaut is pretty... he would be a lot higher ahead if he didn't die here, here as well as here. He will get his Battle Fury now, I believe. It is on the Courier. So they're gonna be able to catch up if EHOME makes any serious missteps, but if Wings is able to just secure. Did I say EHOME? I mean, Wings makes any missteps, EHOME will be able to come back into the game, but as long as they keep their lead strong, they don't really overextend for any plays, especially when not as 5. They're pretty strong as 5. Even as 5, if they go really deep in there, I see themselves still being able to win the fight. But their problem right now is just getting picked off maybe by Nyx or something, or a hook, while they're trying to clear out lanes like Blink does right here. He was just trying to defend this tower, push out the lane, and he does get himself took right now. He does look like he potentially is in some trouble, as Pudge, Nyx, and even Juggernaut maybe is heading towards him, but Innocence will TP to the top lane to just put wards here, but he'll run into enemy heroes, as it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get out of this alive. Pudge will eat him up with the Dismember, but they will counter-initiate with Sand King onto Jug, and Jug will fall again. Shortly after, being able to pick up his battle free. Sven will blink in. He does stun himself up in the Carapace, and he's taking a decent amount of damage from OD, but he does have a BKB, so he's not afraid of OD anymore with the BKB pickup. This Pudge is able to do a serious amount of damage, as Rubik was able to steal up that false promise and use it on him, and Sven will fall as his BKB is expired, as they're able to kite him back a bit using that Dragon Lance, and this fight is looking pretty decent EMK, considering how it started with the Juggernaut getting just picked off in the beginning by that Epicenter. There's gonna be some gem play right here. They do pick up the gem, and they Midas up the Chen creeps, as well as killing 4 heroes on the side of Wings. So that fight for EMK turning out decently, as they do lose 3 heroes, but they do gain a gem. I believe it was owned by Ice, yeah, so it was picked up by their Chen, so they do get a gem on the side of EHOME.Keen. It will help them out a lot to help control the vision of Wings. That fight really started out as Innocence was kind of walking up here and trying to put a ward down, but he does manage to get caught out. He does get the ult off on himself, which allows him to stall for a bit longer, but the ult does get stolen by Rubik and used on Pudge, which allowed him to do a lot of damage before falling, as well as getting a decent amount of duration on his ult off as well. OD will pick up a Lincoln Sphere, a pretty strong item. There's a lot of single target on the Wing side, and allows him to just survive. And as you see, he was able to survive that fight using his Dragon Lance to kind of kite the Sven while he's BKB'd, because you can't really do damage to a Sven as an OD while BKB'd. So he's able to kite him while he does have that up, and then they're able to finish him off once his BKB expires, and that's a 10-second BKB from the Sven. Didn't really manage to pay off, as they did not manage to win that fight, but Nyx Assassin will try to walk up to this high ground and get spun by the Sven, as he was laying there in wait, and he will use BKB, as Nyx will get hooked out after the imprison. And that's another strong play for Pudge, as he's able to just save heroes after OD imprisons them up. And that's another BKB usage for Sven for pretty much nothing, as they're not going to be able to get off that Nyx, with a nice play from OD as well as Pudge saving his life. There will be a DD rune as well, and it looks like EHOME.Keen will make their way into the Rosh Pit, as they know that both God's Strength as well as BKB is expended on the Sven. They're not in the strongest position to take a fight right now, but they still have to be careful, as Sand King does have a blink as well as a Force Staff. So Juggernaut does die to Roshan as he gets Sunstriked, and it looks like EHOME.Keen will just have to back, as they're missing a hero now. And even without God's Strength or BKB on Sven, they're still cooling down, and Sand King is going to be able to make a lot of space for his team, as well as potentially just draw a lot of time for them, waiting for those cooldowns to come back up, using his Epicenter as well as stuns and his elusiveness to just creates some time for his team to defend that Rosh, and that Rosh will be defended with that nice Sunstrike from Blink, killing the Juggernauts pretty much. It doesn't actually get the kill, but Roshan will get that, but they do stop the Rosh, because he does end up falling at the end of the day. So it looks like right now Wings will be trying themselves for the Rosh. They do pop God Strength on Sven, and he looks like he's just gonna solo it with the lifesteal from the Dominator. He should be able to do this just fine, as well as armor from Warcry. But meanwhile, a fight will start in the bot lane, as they were expecting more heroes to be in the Roche pit, but instead they were sitting right here, and they managed to hit a stun off on Rubik and finish him off, as well as secure themselves in Aegis. So what looked like could have been a very powerful play from EHOME, able to force themselves at Roshan with the wasted ult, as well as BKB from the Sven. A nice Sunstrike from Invoker stops them in their tracks, and right now they look like they're in quite a bit of trouble, as Sven will pick himself up in Aegis, and he'll have level 16 now and have that level 3 God Strength. And it looks like EHOME or Wing's next objective is to start heading high ground, potentially after this bot tier 2 push right here. Invoker still will continue to play to split the map. He's been doing this entire game. He's kind of been off by himself, and since this Nyx really hasn't had the best of starts, as well as going for a Midas build, nothing really able to just kind of solo kill this Invoker out, even with another hero helping him. Invoker is able to kind of farm freely and is able to manage to pick up a lot of net worth for himself, being the third most in the game. Juggernaut right now will just be trying to push out this top lane, while his team kind of just sit back waiting for Wings to push, but it looks like Wing will not commit for that. OD will imprison up the Invoker in the mid lane, but Rubik does get gone on by Sven on the left side, and OD will just get the fuck out of there because his Rubik is dead. He's donezo. He just got obliterated, deleted. Pudge will have an Aether Lens, so he's going to be able to manage to hit hooks at decently long range, but that's not going to help him out here, as Faith Bien will manage to find a stun on him, and he will fall as well. And both of EHOME.Keen's support will fall, basically just getting picked off, being slightly out of position, and with multiple blinks on the side of Wings, they're able to punish that. Right now, they have to be really careful right now, as if they take this 3v5 fight right here, it's very likely they're just gonna lose it and lose their racks. Instead, they're gonna play a bit passive. OD will get stunned up by Chen's creeps, but they're gonna be able to take that racks pretty much for free. Juggernaut is looking to cut the wave right here, but he has to be careful. That instant stun on Sand King is gonna be able to hit him before he can spin, and he took a lot of damage before he finally got his spin off. Sven will TP back after getting sent back, and it looks like Jug will fall. Jug wasn't simply able to get off his spin quite fast enough, as the instant save from Sand King managed to catch him out before his spin goes off, and he'll take that meteor damage as well. And Sven will TP back to mid lane after being sent back and get a quick pick off on Juggernaut. It looks like Blink will push out the bot lane. Has to be careful as Nyx is heading down there, but it looks like they do spot him out with these wards here. And nice hook by Pudge, managed to pick the Sand King, and they do have vision for him, so Sand King will fall. He does drop a gem, but it looks like Pudge as well as Rubik and potentially even Nyx are in trouble, as they're getting flanked by 3 Radiant heroes. It looks like during that time OD did manage to fall. I didn't really catch that. I guess he does fall to either Sand King or Sven. But with 3 heroes dead, their Juggernaut dying a little bit back here, they do manage to pick off the Sand King, but that's not going to help them, as this Sven, who still has Aegis by the way, is just popping ult and hitting their top tower. Blink will TP up here. He actually runs up here to join them, and it looks like EHOME.Keen will lose another set of racks. Shadow even committing the BKB to make sure that he finishes it off. This Nyx with Aghanim Scepter might be quite annoying. It does manage to burn the Sven's mana, but they're not going to be able to stop them from taking the racks, especially if Sven's willing to commit a BKB for it. Sven will get sent back because, as I said, the Nyx will manage to be quite annoying and take a lot of his mana away, and that's kind of valuable for him because he does need it to use his stun as well as his ultimate. So Chen with the heads up play, just sending him back, allowing him to regen up, and he'll get right back to farming, as it looks like EHOME.Keen is looking to be in quite a troubling position. They'll go for the 5-man YOLO smoke, and we'll see if they're going to be able to get anything off of this, as Chen does pick up Greaves as well as work into an Aghanims. And once he gets that, they're really not going to be able to stop the push. Wings is just going to be able to walk up and take their racks, and there's really nothing they can do about it. Sven will get a good initiation on Pudge. He'll decide to pop ult now, as well as BKB, and go ham on the Nyx Assassin. Chen will look like he's in trouble, as Odie has managed to do a ton of damage to him. But Odie will get caught out by a Sand King stun, and with that epicenter, he will fall, and Pudge will fall in the back as well. Nyx Assassin and Jug are still alive, but it doesn't look like Nyx will be for long, as he's quite unable to get out there with his Burrow, and his Vendetta not being quite off cooldown yet. And I believe if he did, they still have the gem on Oracle, who is building into an Ags. I mean, at this point, why not? That cooldown reduction allows you to really increase your damage output as well as your healing output. And they're this far ahead, they really can't afford to just go for anything, as long as they just continue to play tight and not really feed any unnecessary kills to the side of EHOME.Keen, and they'll decide to go straight for the throne, and EHOME.Keen will call GG. Overall, really solid game by Wings Gaming. They're able to play extremely aggressively in this top lane. Most of the fighting happening in the first, I would like to say, like 10 minutes of the game, even heading up to like the 12 to 13 minute mark, happened in that top lane with the Chen and the Sand King making the plays. They did this on the side of EHOME.Keen decide to try to make some counter plays in that top lane, rotating heroes to the top. But that one play where they do decide to go on the Sand King with that Imprison, they kind of set up for it with 4 heroes. They're able to just save him with the Oracle. So Oracle does rotate top as well, and the battling just kind of goes to the side of Wings Gaming in the top lane. They had the advantage since the early game laning stage with the first kill on Pudge. The Chen really paying off, getting a lot of decent amount of creeps that can do fighting, and it started off with that Wildkin. He did get double centaurs at some point, and even a satyr as well as a hellbear, kind of going through the entire rotation of creeps. I didn't really see any trolls in the early game, but really utilize any creep he was able to find and put pressure on that top lane, getting kills on the Juggernaut as well as the Pudge. And with the kills they got in the early game, they were able to transition it into tower pushes, and Sven pretty much receiving free farm in the bot lane as well. They were able to kind of make up the slack for their Invoker, who kind of had a bad laning stage, but they were able to come back and secure a relatively simple victory in this game. It didn't ever seem too hard for them. EHOME.Keen was able to make that decent fight happen up in the Radiant side secret shop. That fight went pretty well for them. If I can remember, it was probably like a 3-for-4 trade or something like that, with OD surviving at the end of the fight. And they do manage to kill all the cores, I believe. Maybe not Invoker, but they definitely did kill Sven as well as Sand King in that fight, and secure a small victory there. But with that Roche fight, or that Roche play that didn't really work out for them, that lucky Sunstrike hitting the Juggernaut, and he kind of got too low and died to Roshan. And that really just kind of fed away a free Roshan for Wings Gaming, and with that Aegis, they're able to secure multiple set of barracks as well as a couple of team fights, and just clear out the victory in a pretty simple and easy fashion. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this replay analysis or commentary or whatever. My camera control is pretty awful, god awful in at the moment right now. It's a bit late. Kind of took a couple of days off because my internet was having issues, but I'm back at it. Just ready to cast more games, get better practice at this, and let's see how this goes. Look forward to more videos coming soon. See you guys. Peace. I'm out.